is your Colbert, and you are running Bane Armaments Mod 1, Engine Boost Modification, Aiming Systems, Propulsion, Concealment, and Main Battery.
Wow.
What's WoW?
I'm surprised about the no range.
I
Here?
didn't take the range because I feel like I'd just be wasting time if I miss my shells,
Hmm.
and I'd just be
Okay.
giving the enemy potential damage.
Have you tried just not missing your shells?
Where
Yeah,
is it?
but I feel like the more DPM, especially when
I mean,
get,
it never works for me. I'll just say that much.
yeah, it never works
Okay.
for me either.
Okay.
I find the shell too floaty for.
Here's the thing. I do it with range, but I don't play concealment mod. I play rudder shift as an open water wiggly boat.
I mean, I do agree if you're going to go for range, then yeah, you'd probably want to do steering gears. Um, I don't know if you want to do double rudder necessarily, or if you want to keep the propulsion module.
No, I
But-
would keep propulsion. I would keep propulsion.
Michael Bear, I try to find islands.
Mhm.
Just
Like-
copy John the Ruthless build.
Yeah, this is probably the island camping build.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a
know,
special captain?
One of the Honore brothers.
Okay. So, you are running incoming fire alert. Makes sense in a Colbert. Demolition expert makes sense. Superintendent, yup. Concealment, sure. And then last stand makes sense as well. You're gonna lose your rudder, especially maybe engine in a game. Enhanced adrenaline rush. That's why you use one of the honores. Survivability expert, and then finally outnumbered because you're expecting yourself to be kind of on the flank side.
Yep. Although this game, I decided to be, since I'm division with the DD, I
Mhm.
decided to push the middle with the DD.
Okay.
Is it with that range on the guns is outnumbered really going off?
It just surprisingly it goes off quite a bit.
Okay.
Like, I'm surprised you didn't take the damage skill.
The extra HE damage.
Yeah.
Well, I find myself non-penning more than getting actual pen, so I feel like if I just take the extra HE damage, I'm not getting any value out of it if I'm just getting non-pens.
If they're non-pens, yeah. So you're setting this more as a fire starter because you start fires even on non-penetration.
I actually dropped Superintendent on mine because the Colbert gets an extra heal on its base. So you already have 4 heals even without that.
Mm-hmm.
And with how little hit points it has,
Mm-hmm.
I usually die before I could even use a 5th one, or the game is over.
Oh, remember, I did say earlier today that I took 105,000 damage this game.
Yeah, I guess.
You're gonna use all of them.
Yes, I guess you need the 5th heal to make that happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I think it's very, very possible to drop the Superintendent for the extra damage. There is not a lot of games where you actually can make use of a 5th heal.
Now, the superintendent was like the one skill was torn. Like but I couldn't decide between heavy HE or superintendent,
So
and I decided.
I do agree though, the heavy HE, the problem is in the Colbert usually like half of your shells don't penetrate.
right.
So it's you get not as much out of it as you think you would, but it's still a little bit extra DPM, and you don't face the penalty because your caliber is so low.
So take a look
Just
at
the
this.
flat out damage buffs.
Outnumbered says it improves your ship's characteristics while the number of allies within your ship's main battery does not exceed the number of visible enemy ships. In that case, doesn't a lower range actually help you proc outnumbered more than a larger range?
Technically, yeah, because as long as you're the only time you'd probably proc outnumbered on a ship that has larger range is most likely when your team is already dying.
Right, that's
and
what I mean.
Your team's already outnumbered significantly.
You
That's
need
probably-
you need more enemy ships in your firing range than allied ships.
No, it says the number of visible enemy ships. Does not say enemy ships in your firing range. It just says visible enemy ships.
Yeah, they just have to be spotted. As long as there's more ships spotted, enemy ships spotted, than our allied ships in your firing range, it works.
Mm-hmm. That's what I mean.
So
That's why I think having a shorter range actually helps you proc outnumbered more so than a larger one.
I mean, this is just a case you report everybody who's not spotted in your firing range.
Perfect.
I mainly just have
Okay,
outnumbered.
maybe I misunderstood the skill. If you actually only need them to be visible anywhere on the map, just spotted, then yeah, a lower range makes sense. I
Right.
thought they need to be in your range as well. I always interpret it as like, okay,
think they've
have
changed the
15
skill.
kilometer firing range. So if there are more ships from the enemy team inside 15 kilometers, then it procs. But if you just have to have them visible,
If I remember right, outnumbered is one of the skills that were tweaked after the rework, so that could have been the tweak. That could have been the change they made.
Also, I grabbed outnumbered mainly for like the rare case scenario where I can't use an island and I have to kite.
And it makes sense because your extra shift speed helps you. Because honestly, this ship is the idea of speed as armor, right? So the ability to dodge shells is more important.
yeah. But here's the thing though, right? If you play it as an island ship
Mm-hmm.
and you fire from behind islands, you don't really need the speed for that. And the dispersion is
There's some cases-
whatever.
There's
Well,
some
I think
cases where the islands are not going to help.
Mm-hmm.
I think the better question is, are you getting more utility out of it than you're not?
Right.
If the answer is yes, then
Right.
I don't
And
think
You get
thankfully,
utility out of it. The question is, do you get more utility out of this than you would out of maybe the extra damage or so? And I
Or
think
top
it's a
grade
bit hard
gutter.
to calculate.
right. Okay, well, let's continue on with the replay here. So, your flag setup: no detonation, fire reduction, fire chance both flags, heal boost, speed, consumable reduction, and anti-air. All of this makes perfect sense in a Colbert build. So, sure. And then, as far as your HE characteristics, what is the penetration? 21 millimeter.
It's
If you had
127 milligun, yeah.
Yeah, they're 127s. If you took IFHE, you're still not penetrating, heavy cruiser, right? So it makes sense not to worry about taking IFHE. So, okay, fine. I know there was talk about using heavy AP or HE and SAP, sure, but then now you've got a point to deal with. So, this is what you took. Let's get to the game.
I do make a big mistake straight from the get-go.
Okay.
did you hit the battle button?
Other than that,
How dare you hit the
Other
battle
than-
button, sir?
other than hitting the battle button,
Well, you wanted to go into co-op. I think the Colbert is amazing for co-op, by the way. Every single mission where you need to get main battery hits,
Of course.
amazing ship.
Of course.
even though I was division with the DD with the intentions of him smoking me in the middle, I still decided to push middle even though there was a Malta in the game. And that's where
Why you
my
do
mistake
this?
comes. I didn't think of it at the moment. I only realized it after the Malta dropped on me. I'm like, well, I didn't think this through.
Uh-huh. I'm gonna let
I
Son
kinda
know that.
That explains why you took so much damage.
Yeah, Malta,
Was,
the Malta alone did over half the damage than anyone else did on the game. That game.
Thanks for the reminder, Blue Falcon. Cheers. Was Son streaming this game?
Yes, this happened on stream.
Oh, so
Wait, was
everybody got
Stone
to
in
see
the
the Malta
Inman?
hit you.
Oh, I think I've seen this game.
Okay.
I think you were watching. Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably
Well, I
a good chance
haven't.
I was lurking.
This is a straight tier 10 game. Carrier, as you've been talking about, there's a sub, one
It's arms
destroyer
race.
otherwise. Huh?
It's arms race as well.
This is arms race. That's a good point. And you are sticking up with Bahamut's here, I'm guessing, so that he can smoke and you can shoot from that smoke
Yep.
if needed?
Yep. I said I was gonna help. I said I was gonna, if he wanted to, he smoked me up and I can cover him if he tried to go grab the damage buff.
Okay, so you're suggesting this to him in a game that there's 2 Woosters, a Moskva, a Minotaur, and a Plymouth. The Minotaur,
know
we
there's-
don't know if it's got radar or not, but you'll
Oh,
probably assume it does.
Spoiler, he does. Which is, that's why I said wait to see if, once we saw the minnow get spotted, I told him wait to see if the minnow radars.
Okay.
and lo and behold, he does get radared. So it results in me doing what I did next. Although I
Okay.
guess I could have reversed and stayed in
I'm
the
sure
smoke,
at
but
this point, even a Malta's got radar.
I'm actually not sure I understand the point of that smoke here.
Farm out the Minotaur, I
Okay, so
guess.
there's the radar and the Minotaur. The Minotaur's radar, your gearing is detected. Here's the part where Plaque said he has a decision to make. He could back up, or he could. I think you're going to go to this island in front of you.
yeah, that's exactly what I do. I gun it straight for the island.
Why is there no option of low DAP and just yeet them?
Well, that is true. Here's the AP.
I don't think the AP works at that distance.
No, it did not work at this
I mean,
distance.
you get probably full pens, but you're not gonna yeet it.
On the bright
Look
side
at-
of me getting detected here, it took the heat off of the gearing.
It did actually, because the Minotaur immediately shoots at you. And it's
Yeah,
hard to
but-
tell if anybody else is because of all your incoming fire alerts.
It
It's
just
also because the gearing turned away. Like the Minotaur doesn't have a good angle at the gearing at this point.
No.
and I just use this island to try to cover me from the booster from behind and reverse.
What's funny is you're able to arc the shells over the island at him.
I'll
What's
just
interesting is the heal buff is still up, which means there's no DD there either.
Yep.
So forcing that Minotaur away, you guys might get 2 buffs?
And here's where I realize I made a mistake because I see the multiple bombers incoming.
Yeah.
You
Well,
didn't
not
pop your
only
eye
that.
out.
Not only that, but you're popping forward a little bit in front of the curve first. Ow.
And then he gets second drop off too, because why not?
Of course.
Did you report sound for not giving you any sort of fighter protection?
No, I didn't ask for fighters. I just
Oh.
I asked for spotting.
You are honestly very lucky that you didn't die there.
So can we point out the fact that the gearing smoke is still there? Like, if you had stayed in the gearing smoke, probably you'd be better off.
Yeah, but the minnow radar is what made me push off toward the island, because if the minnow was going to keep closing in, he would have radared the entire smoke.
If you would have, yeah. I mean,
And at the moment, he was full charging ahead.
by the way, he's been last seen doing the same thing, charging right at you guys.
I'm just saying, like, if when you decided to come out, I would have had the AP either being loaded or not, because you would have had better broadside shots and longer. Granted, maybe
Yeah.
you not have gotten the citadels, but pen damage is still pen damage. It's nothing to, like.
Scoff at, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That horse, yes. Colossus is off NDA now. I actually played it on stream earlier today. Good dodge. Oh, look, he's helping you now. Schlieffen took care of the minnow for you. So for those of you who are not familiar with the Colbert, there you go. He's a research bureau ship, crazy HEDPM.
Here's
Very
a
low
little
health.
thing you might not know. If you use your ASW planes to draw the guy's fighters away, it should draw the fighters away. I know
Yes.
it does work for the Dutch bombers.
Mm-hmm.
I've done it before. I do use whenever I did with a CV and I realize he needs me to, and there's fighters in the way of him going where he's going. I just use the airstrike to clear the fighters.
Well, Putin is saying you could be using that right now to cover
Yeah,
the fighters that are in the middle. That's what's spotting you.
I didn't think of that at the moment because I didn't see really anyone shooting at me.
You also have one of those fancy heals available.
Yeah, I realized again I seem to have an issue with not popping heals super off cooldown. If you remember
There's
the
a heal.
safe.
There you go.
No, I mean that's fine. I mean, you realized that. Wanted to make sure the GK was gonna get that. Luckily, nobody was shooting you, and I don't think anyone could just from
Yeah,
looking
no.
at the mini map.
Mm-hmm.
No one could get shots on me. The only one that possibly had shots was the Montana had he been back towards where the Plymouth was spotted.
Right.
Maybe the Rooster, but that's one of those you just pop the heal and survive through it.
I'm
Right.
just amazed how that Malta didn't come back for you. And
I am too, frankly.
you should have been dead 5 minutes into this game. You have no business living right now.
I have no business living the entire game.
Well, the heal buff is definitely helping.
Oh, don't open here now.
The Malta could have just come back with his torp bombers and it would
Oh
have
my
been-
god, you're opening up.
I saw you
Now-
as an inventory, so I was like, why not?
Okay. Outnumbered has procced. So you're... Well, okay, but if you look at the minimap, your buddy in the gearing is right behind you. You could have waited and said, hey, you know, come smoke me. Right? But you're looking at the Montana. He's clearly looking at the Salem. So you could absolutely take advantage. I understand that. But at a certain point, the Salem is either going to die or the Montana is going to get bored. And then he's going to start shooting you.
This is when I'd ask for the gearing just to smoke and go to
Right.
it once you go dark.
I did ask him if you could smoke here.
There's the the salvo from the Montana.
He somehow breaks the turret in the front when the shells landing to the rear.
Napoleon, yes. Welcome back. And yes, that is a mod in the center of the screen that shows the ship's orientation. It is called Battle Expert on Aslane's. I don't remember if it's also that on mod station.
It is on that on my station.
Alright, so here comes your gearing. The savior for you. Because that allows you to just start farming.
It also stops the Malta from having a clear drop on me again,
Yep. Now you just need him to go and spot for you.
which he does.
Does that bring back memories, Puddin'?
Several.
Is it usable only through Steam? No. Aslane's. Aslane.com. Aslane's is a mod pack. There's also Mod Station. Those are two major mod packs.
Mod Station does not work with Steam. They got rid of Steam support a while ago. I don't know why.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Mod Station no longer works with Steam.
Oh,
They got rid of support a while ago for some reason. They never really specified why.
okay, that is weird.
Here's I'm just farming my non-pen ribbons.
Yeah.
I was trying to focus him out because he had shots on Zone.
Well, and frankly, you know, he was going to have shots on you as soon as your smoke expired, so.
He needed to go.
Absolutely he did.
I decided to peek my nose out here to see if I could, by chance, spot the rooster once the Zone flew by.
Mm-hmm. Falcon, if given the choice, shouldn't a player retreat towards the flank instead of the middle? Hold the flank and not surrender it? Are you talking about in this replay, Blue Falcon? Because the problem in this replay is the game mode that they're playing on, which is arms race. At a certain amount of time, you can see in the middle of the map and a cap will show up. Now this cap has a decreasing diameter, so it kind of, one, encourages you to get to the middle, and also if you don't get in the middle early, it makes it harder for you to get into that cap. It's shrinking. So the problem with arms race is you can't afford to retreat to the flank, which you would normally do in a standard battle or domination fight, because this cap has extremely fast point generation. The enemy team is currently capping. Pock's got nobody in the cap on his team. So the result of that is they're probably going to get the cap here.
Also, after the Montana's death, the only ship I was really worried about was the Plymouth and the Napoli.
And the Malta.
Well, other than the Malta, I wasn't going to count him because he's being a little pain in the ass.
For obvious reasons. Now, if you look carefully, you'll see that these buoys are moving.
Shrinking.
They're
They're running
shrinking
away from
into
me.
the center, right? And Pock, you're not going into the cap here.
And we were communicating, and the gearing said he was going to go in for the cap, so
Okay. Will he get there in time?
he does.
He does not.
Barely.
They get the cap. He's going to get on there to stall the cap.
Yeah, he stalls it at least, which stops him from. We still have the point lead.
Right. Okay.
I get lucky there, honestly.
You do.
You got lucky multiple times there. I have no clue what this Malta is doing.
I don't know why this Molotov didn't recall those last few planes.
He wants you dead, clearly.
He could have had him dead after his first 2 attacks.
He got distracted. Obviously, he was looking at somebody else. We'll look at the replay render and see what he was looking at. What distracted him.
Also, I think it's here when I check my reloading game and I see I have a 1.8-second reload.
Adrenaline rush is a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Yep, it's on top of the 3 arms race buffs. We maxed out the reload buffs.
Yep.
It's just a rainbow.
Of death.
Rainbow of non-pens.
Yeah, so that's the problem with Malta. I mean, you'll start a fire, and then that'll trigger the auto DCP, and you gotta wait a minute before you can set another fire.
Also here, instead the Malta starts going after the gearing instead of me.
Oh, the gearing's in the cap. That's their win condition. And look at how much you've healed up at this point. I understand why he didn't go after you, because you're not really a threat to him.
No, I don't, because he was on his freaking drop planes. He's not gonna top the gearing.
Feels bad, man. I don't know. Switching to AP now to get your pens on the superstructure. This is going to be far more impactful than the HE. There you go.
And then Malta, after the strike, he's gone for good.
Yeah.
And that one I'm surprised that didn't take more damage.
That was a bad drop by him.
It was.
The
It was
only
kind of
good
rushed.
the only good aligned drop he has was the very first one. Every other drop he made was poorly aligned.
The first two
Mhm.
dropped were like,
No,
Really?
the second one wasn't good either.
I still could say pretty good because it left me like at 3k.
Yeah, but he didn't align it properly.
Oh.
If he aligned it properly, you'd be dead.
Speaking of
Feels
being
good.
dead, how about that booster?
So your shipmate stole 2 kills from you so far.
I didn't care about the kill secures.
You want the win.
Yeah, at this point, I wanted to win because I thought our team was going to throw this.
I mean,
What?
frankly,
Teams win harder? I find that hard to believe.
it's late game. You're only up 2 ships, so it's a possibility. I think the key is your gearing. If he wasn't able to get on that cap, this might be a different experience.
You know, they would have ticked up way more points.
That's what I mean.
And look at that, with 3 heal buffs, he's already healed up to 1000 HP already.
And look how much
I
you
mean, yeah,
healed up.
that also factors in how much damage he took, right? Passive healing
Yeah.
from the heal buff. Mm.
Still, 105,000 in a Colbert is a lot of damage.
Doesn't matter. Grunty's not impressed anymore.
I mean, here's the other thing. Like, worst case scenario, to be honest, you just throw Sown in there on the cap.
Yeah.
Like, there's no battleships. It's just cruisers.
Well, and of course he's got the secondaries.
They should be around there.
They are not that good on the Immelmann.
It's a
mean,
German
you-
battleship or German carrier. I mean.
This is where I pull a stupid.
Oh, really?
Drop your depth charges.
I
No
mean, he
panic
was
hydro?
smart. He was smart, and he switched to AP. You have not switched to AP. Why haven't you not switched to AP? There you go.
I switch to AP here, but then I feel like I get robbed.
Take a look at what's happening. You're getting shatters because you are hitting his armored belt. You should be aiming at his bow, or stern, or superstructure.
I was trying to
AP.
get the
think-
Citadel at this
I know
range.
you
I think
were.
he can get the Citadel, but he actually aimed too low. I think
You
the
are
most
aiming
of the
too
shots
low.
Went
So-
in the water.
I would be aiming underneath probably the second turret, like here. I would aim around there. I wouldn't be aiming at the flat side here, in the midsection.
So I just realized I
Oh.
can reason Hydro this game. Yeah, he's
There's
sucking
your,
there.
there's your final citadel, or your first citadel. He citadels you too. All right, you did get him off the face of the earth, so that's cute.
Yeah, that's game.
That is game.
Wait, I just realized I never used a single Hydra that match.
Nope.
Yeah, should have used defensive fire.
Should have used everything.
DFA would have been more useful that match, yeah. But there's also really no Torp threat for me to have to Hydro.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Like
called
this,
inserting your dominance. Be like,
like
guys, you're
this.
so bad, I don't even need my hydro.
It's hard to see the CV attacks from this view. It's too fast.
Sorry.
I also like how when I was shooting the curve first, it was just a stream of orange.
I mean, that's kind of fun. So I don't have the ability to slow down the replay render like I would before. So, maybe that's an argument for going back to the old style, but I do have the ability to draw circles on the. So that's kind of fun. So let's take a look at this
Oh.
one again.
They gave you the Bogsy pen.
Yes, I have the Bogsy pen. And I shall wield it just like the Bogsy does.
And
So,
start drawing lines.
what?
Start drawing some lines.
There you go. How's that?
It works.
All right. So, anyways, let's play. We'll try to key in the key points. So, Minotaur detected here. Here's your lines.
Initially here, I feel like I had two options. I could have kept following the gearing, or I could have cut and went down to the 7 line.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like if I did that, I wouldn't have been able to help the gearing with the minnow if the minnow was a radar minnow. 'Cause
So
at the time we didn't know.
yes, at this exact moment, you actually have the opportunity to both cut down the 7 line, right?
Mhm.
But the gearing doesn't. He keeps going forward. So there he is.
I think I would have gone to the 7 line because simply like the caps were on the left side. So like in this whole area where you're now, like there is actually nothing to play for in this area.
Right.
You're just risking your ship for pretty much nothing.
Those were the caps, if I'm right at this point.
No, the
I
caps
disagree.
were...
There's two at 4, 4, and 5. There's the damage and the heal.
Right.
The damage and the heal buff were like in E4, F4, right?
In that area, yeah. And then there was another buff where our Des and Salem are at, and then one perpendicular.
I mean, because here's the thing: the only thing spotted, granted he's dark now, is the Minotaur. The shimmy spotted, so you don't know if there's a DD still in front of Minotaur.
Well, there's only one.
It
was just the Shima and the sub.
Oh, okay. So
and Shima's over
subs,
yeah.
Sub's not spotted.
But I just assumed the sub was going to be on the 1, 2, 3 line.
I would assume that too, but like
because your sub is there.
Line,
yeah,
it goes to the 7 line. Minnow's got enough stealth to get in there and get not only get damage and the heal buff.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's continue. Now here's the part.
I just think it's risky in the middle because like you get spotted and
it's always risky.
Of course, it's risky because now who can shoot him? Moskva, Schlieffen, maybe the Kurfürst, right? Versus
the Kurfürst surely can.
The Kurfürst could have killed me pretty much at any point, but he never decided to shoot.
Versus if you were over here at this point. And for one, you wouldn't be spotted, you wouldn't be radared. But two, you'd have the ability to duck behind these other islands as you need it. So, okay. Here's the part where you're in trouble.
I really think this was big versus big reward, and it just came out meh.
Here come the bombers.
Well, the reward was potentially getting to farm way more damage, but
well, I mean, the reward is the damage, the heal, and then possibly kill a ship, get a pick.
Right.
Can you go back a little bit? No, you can't, right?
I can. Let's see the B key. Where am I going back to?
Just like 1 second to see the second drop from the CV. Like that first drop was good on him.
That's the first drop there.
The second drop
almost kills him.
Good. It's not aligned good. He's not coming straight from behind. He attacks at like a 30-degree angle,
Well, I
and
mean,
that's
Pock starts.
probably what saved him.
Yeah, Pock starts
Mm.
turning, right? And the Malta wasn't ready. Here's the key, though: is he doesn't go after him again.
He tried again with the bombs. That wasn't a full squadron and failed because the drop was bad again. And then he stopped for whatever reason.
Okay,
Oh,
so here
and a
comes.
comment. I want to
There's
make
a
this
squadron
comment
there.
from earlier when I peeked my nose out where the reverse could shoot me.
Mm-hmm.
It was the gamble I took because once I saw the multi bombers incoming, it was just like quickly trying to reorientate myself off the island to turn away, and that ended up me pushing my nose slightly out. Unfortunately, the curve was too tunnel vision and didn't take an opportunity off of that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a bigger mistake on the curve first.
Because the replay
Yeah,
probably would have ended there.
it would have. But yeah, the Malta got bored trying to kill you and started focusing on your ships on the 3-4 line.
Also, shout
So
out to the cruisers not pushing the 8-9 line. They instead turned back towards the middle. When
right.
had they turned into the 8-9 line and gone down the middle channel, I wouldn't have been able to. Me and the gearing wouldn't have been able to sit where we were.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the Malta just sailing back and right in the open, getting himself killed for no reason.
I don't know why the
Like,
Malta did that either. It just positioned itself in a really bad spot.
Yeah,
like
confusing.
why?
I don't know. But you know what? When the Montana died, I feel like
I mean, the game
these
was
cruisers.
probably over at this point, but like still, like
I mean, the only thing I can say out of this is, like pretty much every replay, you've got to get lucky at some point,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the enemy did what you needed them to do for you to farm damage. My only criticism is really your lack of AP use.
Yep.
no, the AP is not that good in that ship.
You're gonna tell me at 4 and under AP is not that good? Like, don't aim waterline. Aim for the guaranteed damage.
That
Like
AP
what I was
in the
saying.
Colbert is like kind of the same as in the Marceau.
Well, they're the same shells.
Yeah, and
It just happened.
it will burn through somebody real quickly. It's a broadside target.
Mm-hmm.
So I only have 17 battles on the Colbert. I have not played it too much.
I haven't played mine that much either, so yeah, I get you there.
I pretty much only use it whenever I just want to brainlessly hold my mouse down or I need shell
Mm-hmm.
hits because I don't have the Smolensk.
Like at 5 kilometers, the penetration is 132 millimeters.
So it's perfect for a Wooster. The Minotaur, you could have done significant damage to the Minotaur.
That was at 5. At 10 kilometers,
Yeah, he
we're
wasn't close
looking
enough for
at
that.
80 millimeters of pen.
And
And
that's not
superstructure. Like,
The
like
AP
I don't aim waterline anymore because too many shells go into the water.
Mm-hmm.
You never get the citadels you want when you need them.
Mhm.
So I aim up higher a little bit more, right? The shells that are going to drop in on the citadels, and the ones that don't are going right in on him.
The AP
So-
damage on those shells is not that much higher than the HE damage, though, to justify the potential bounces.
I mean, I agree with Grunty. I would probably just shoot HE and not think until your engagement with the Wooster, and then I might have adjusted my aim a little bit, but whatever. You did get that one citadel. Take a look at your
Right.
potential damage: 1.8 million. Nicely
it's that-
done.
If you want to put this image on stream as well, the post results where it shows what damage and damage taken, just to show that it was 105,000. Like I wasn't making it up.
It's nice.
That's like the main sending point of why I wanted to set
Yeah.
this replay. Just shocked at the amount of damage I took in a super light cruiser.
Right. Which has how much hit points to start?
40k.
Yeah. Right.
And
So-
off alone, look how much the bombs did.
But again, this comes back to arms race. You get that passive heal, which really helps. What's up, hard tickets? So nice. It's
Still
a good
lot of
game.
damage taken.
Of
I
course.
mean, it's still a lot of damage taken.
Good
Mhm.
game, but
You still have to live through all of that.
which he did.
I like. It's gonna sound super negative, but I think a little bit of a better enemy Malta, and this game doesn't end up here because you
Oh,
are
absolutely.
dead in 4 minutes.
Okay, a little bit better sewn, and you would have had fighter cover over you.
That
So
no, because
sorry, sewn. We love you, by the way.
Well, it would have
no, because like the Malta attacks just straight through. Like the fighters
It-
don't actually prevent the strike.
Just
Well-
want to point out, the only time he got fighter coverage is when he dropped that tier 3 sub.
I want to point out. I want to also make a comment. I didn't ask for fighters. Like, I straight up said, "Don't give me fighters yet. I'll let you know." And I
Hmm.
kind of
Listen,
let him know.
your story of not getting fighters is kind of boring.
I
Ours is
agree.
much better.
I agree.
True.
Like I just want to like for everybody out there, like you can ask your CV for fighters, but they're not gonna protect you. That's false security.
Oh, totally.
They only stopped the second drop. They're not stopping the first drop. First
Yeah,
drop is
they're
coming
gonna
in.
stop this. They're gonna stop the second drop. Yeah,
So, I think that's an issue for anybody, even if you're in a div, but to a lesser extent. Don't expect any anti-air fighter coverage over you. The same thing happened in the RTS style CVs, right? Everybody expected you to magically have your planes hovering over them the entire time, which is not how it works.